Hey everybody, welcome to the Leek. I'm John as always, and it's time for another Magic Origins paper draft recap. At launch day FNM, I did 2 drafts back to back. You guys already saw the first one. I put that one up Friday or Saturday, I can't remember when exactly. But this is the second one that I did that night, immediately after the first one, where I went 2-1. So we're going to open these packs. I'm going to go over how I drafted and how I did. So here we are with our 3 packs of Origins. I'm cracking this open. I'm pretty excited. I got the $40 in cards in the first pack, so I go to the rare and it's Orbs of Warding. Not terribly exciting, but yeah, let's see what else is here. There's Suppression Bonds. That certainly gets pushed to the front right away. Just a fantastic card. Looking out otherwise in the pack, I'm not seeing much. There's a Jailer, which is nowhere near first pickable, but I'm a little bit more happy with it than most people are. But looking through the rest of this pack, there's not much. There's Consecrated by Blood, there's Dwynen's Elite, which I don't think you take before knowing you're going to Elves. There's a Seismic Rambler, I think it was called, but ultimately Suppression Bonds just wins out. Pick 2 comes along. We've got a Leaf Gilder. I really like them. They did well in my first deck. There's an Eyeblight Massacre. That also did really well for me. Basic land I have to throw away. Otherwise in this pack, there's not too much going on. Nantuko Husk. Yeah, it's really kind of Eyeblight Massacre or the Elf, which, the Elf deck wants both of those, really. But Eyeblight Massacre is pretty darn powerful. There's a Call of the Wild Hunt. This pack just really seemed really weak to me overall, especially following a Suppression Bonds, which is an extraordinarily powerful common. I think about the Emperor Tactician there for a little bit, you saw, because, hey, I took a white card, I could just try cutting white, and this pack seems really, really, really weak to me. Outside of Eyeblight Massacre, and I didn't really just want to jump into Black-Green Elves for a second time, so I go with the Emperor Tactician. Strange pick, but that's what I took. Pack 1, pick 3 time. We've got a Night Snare, a Grasp, a Celestial Flare. I like the looks of that. Fiery Impulse as well. Pretty darn good to see. This pack's already much better than the previous one. In the back was, I think, Jace's Sanctum, which is not good. But Celestial Flare, I've already taken 2 white cards. I'm going to take a pretty powerful white common. May as well. Pack 1, pick 4 time. There's a Malakir Cullblade on top, which I'm really excited to play. An Enshrouding Mist, which at this point I had started to realize was a really, really good card. And so I pushed it to the front. But there was also a Way to the Underworld. So I'm kind of looking at the Cullblade, the Weight, the Enshrouding Mist. I'm already white. White-black seems interesting, although I didn't really want to be the white-black enchantment deck. But I took the Way to the Underworld anyways. May as well grab some more removal. Pack 1, pick 5, we've got a Touch of Moonglove right on the top, and I am still a fan of that card. I think it's pretty decent. It's no coat with Venom, but it's there. But in the back I see a Totem Guide Heartbeast, which I start to think I badmouthed black-white enchantments a lot, but maybe I should give it a go. But there was a Skyraker Giant and a Thopter Engineer. I could have gone kind of white-red, but I decide I'm going to go for it. I'm going to test out the black-white enchantment deck and take the Totem Guide Heartbeast. Next pack, we've got hey, well, there we go. There's Black-White Enchantment Enabler. Hey, Sigil of the Empty Throne, which is good because I wasn't seeing too much else in the pack that's exciting or arguably even playable. The Fire Fiend Elemental and the Timberback Wolves. But I decided to go all in Black-White Enchantments and grab that Sigil. Time for the next pack. We've got a Separatist Void Mage, Shambling Ghoul, I guess is what I could take if I do want to go Black-White. There's Eva's Force Mage, Runed Servitor I take a look at, wondering if I just want to stay a little bit open, or do I really want to commit to those 2 clearly black-white enchantment cards that I took? And I decided I wanted to go in for it, so I was going to start cutting colors. So I took the Shambling Ghoul, which is playable anyways. It's a fine card. Next pack, there's a black enchantment sitting right on top for me, Consecrated by Blood, another one that I wanted to try out anyways. And in the rest of the pack, there's not much going on. There's an Necroan Jailer, which, is okay, so I push it to the front for a little bit. But then I pushed the Consecrated in Blood back to the front because I wanted to try it. It's a black enchantment. It fits in the black-white enchantment deck. May as well go all in. This pack, we've got a Macabre Waltz and a Mighty Leap, and that's about it for us. And not really any other playables anyways. So I kind of him and ha. Do I want the Waltz? I'm not a big fan of it as some people are, but I decided to give it a go and give it a try. Next pack, I take a look at what kind of white-black stuff that we've got, and hey, there's a white enchantment, and it's one that I think is totally playable, Grasp of the Heromancer, and I snap grab that. Next pack, we're going to start getting into the dregs. We've got an Enshrouding Mist, which is fine, and as I said, has blown me out in a number of cases, and I need to start valuing more highly, so I take it there, finally. And then this pack came around. 3 red cards. A third last pick Thopter Engineer is what I take. And then 2 red cards, a Goblin Glory Chaser and a Mage Ring Bully. At this point, I don't believe any person sitting at the table was drafting red. That pushed the person to my left into red at that moment, actually. But wow, was red open with a third last pick Thopter Engineer, what is arguably a first pick card. And then for me is a last pick Smash to Smithereens. Not exciting. Sideboardable if I was going to go into red, and apparently I should have gone into red. But hey, I'm black-white enchantments now. I have thrown my hat into the ring that I'm going to try that deck out, so we're going to see what pack 2 brings us. So it's time to rip on open pack 2. I'm hoping for some good black-white enchantment stuff, or some value. We've got Exquisite Firecraft, about a $5 card. I pushed the Blessed Spirits to the front because, hey, that's a black-white enabler. Black-white enchantment enabler, anyways. There's an Nantuko Husk in here as well, but not too much going on. There's the Blessed Spirits. And then I think about the Firecraft, and I think about whether or not I want a rare draft. I actually, at this point, grab my phone and check the price of the Exquisite Firecraft and discover that, yeah, it's about $5 at this time. So I do ultimately decide that I'm going to take the Firecraft. So after the value pick, I'm hoping to get some good stuff. There's another Way to the Underworld, which would be fine, a Knight of Pickham's Road, and then I see the Unholy Hunger. Shaman of the First Pack kicking around in there, making me wish I was Black-Green Elves again, but I take the Unconditional Removal spell because, hey, it's really, really good. Next pack, let's see what we've got. We've got a Dark Dabbling, Reeve Soul, I pushed to the front right away, Kithian's Tactics, Foil Hitchclaw Recluse, but the only thing for me there was the Reeve Soul. There was some good stuff, but not for me at this point. Next pack, we've got a Slug, and then what else could we play? Well, there we go. Got to the end of the pack and there was almost nothing, but then we got the Black-White Enchantment Uncommon Gold Creature, which I gladly took. Next pack, we've got a Griffin on top. Well, that's maybe the pick this late in the pack. There's a Monk, and then a Cleric of the Forward Order. So it's kind of between, do I want the 2/2 for 2 that I have to collect more to become, much better, or do I just want the potential 3/3 flyer? So Griffin, Cleric. I look through the pack, maybe I missed something, maybe there's something better, but there wasn't. So I take the flyer. Flyer seems good. Next pack, we've got a Jailer on top, which, as I said, I think is okay. A lot of people talk about how they don't want to tie their mana up into it, and it's way too costly. Tapping any creature you want, yeah, it used to be awesome when it was free, and yeah, it used to be awesome when it was 1, but even at 3 mana, I'm still okay with at least one of them. So I take that, and I decide I'm going to give it a go and see how it actually plays out. Next pack, we've got a Seismic Rambler, a Bounding Krasis. Both of these cards seem a little bit late being passed to me here. Another Jailer, and then nothing else for me. There's a Jailer or the Thornbow Archer, and I like the Jailer, but I don't necessarily want a second one. I take a look at what I've got just to remind myself again, which is a habit that I'll need to break myself if I ever go to a competitive level draft. But I decided to take the Archer. I've already got a Jailer. I don't feel like I want to. Next pack, we've got a Nantuko Husk, which seems decent, an Aven Battle Priest, and a Night Snare, and a Meteorite. Very quick pick there. There didn't seem to be anything really for me besides that Nantuko Husk. Next pack, we've got another Archer, Thunderclap Wyvern, which seems a little bit late. Must maybe mean that nobody in the table is blue-white, which seems strange, because it's a powerful, powerful, powerful card if you're in the blue-white archetype. At this point, I'm really kind of questioning, do I want the second Thornbow Archer when I don't know if I'm going to play the first, or do I want to hate? And I decide I'll take the second Thornbow Archer. Next pack, we've got the Foil Hitchclaw back. Dark Dabbling is the only real card here for me if I don't want to hate something out, and I'm not really afraid of any of those cards, so I take the Dark Dabbling. Next pack, is there anything left for me? No. No, there's not. So which card do I not want to play against the most? Probably none of these. I don't terribly care about any of them, so I just take the Subterranean Scout, just potentially, stop a super aggressive deck. This pack, I've got a Slug or an Ascetic. I take the Ascetic. Sideboard card seems better than a card that I'll just never ever play. Alchemist's Vial or Maritime Guard. I guess the card that I might play versus the card that I'll never play. And then just waiting on my last pick here, it is a Cobble Brute, which seems a little bit late, but considering how open red is, Not surprising. So time for pack 3. Take a look at the rare, and it's just Missy Meddler. I've already got 2 of those just by playing tonight. But there's a Consul's Lieutenant and another blood-soaked, blood whatever champion it's called, or knight. There's a Topin Freeblade as well, which has performed really, really, really well for me. But Consul's Lieutenant is just amazing, so I gotta take that. Next pack, we've got a Husk and a Grasp and another Celestial Flare. Going to the back, there's a Patron of the Valiant and a War Oracle. There's an Outland Colossus in this pack. This pack's really, really, really good. Wish I was in green, but that train has sailed. So it's kind of between Patron and War Oracle for me. And ultimately, I just decided to go for the War Oracle. I really like the lifelink there, and I didn't really have any counter theme going exactly. Next pack, we've got a Cleric, a Touch of Moonglove, and an Oromancer, which that goes in black-white enchantments, especially when I've got a couple of Way to the Underworlds. Next pack, what do we got? A Night Snare, a Kythian's Tactics, and then something? No, not really anything. There's a Ramroller, maybe. I'm not really a Kythian's Tactics deck. I'm much more mid-rangey as a black-white enchantment deck. It's not an aggressive kind of aggro thing, so I take the Kythian's Tactics. It's the only card that I might play, but I still probably won't. Next pack, there's a Gearcrafter on top. Fleshbag Marauder looks really nice to me. I just saw a Sylvan Messenger, but Fleshbag is what goes in my deck, so I take it. Next pick, we've got a Cleric of the Forward Order. I didn't take the first one. Am I going to take the second one? Well, there's literally nothing else in the pack. So yes, I'm going to take the second one past the first one that I've got. Next pick, we've got ourselves an Eyeblight Assassin and nothing else playable. Well, there's a Throwing Knives, which I pushed to the front, because I do want to play with them. I think they are pretty good. But at this point, I'm trying a lot of new cards. So let's just go with the Eyeblight Assassin, the one that I know is playable. Not exciting, but playable. Next pack, anything good or win the dregs? Well, we've got a Topin Freeblade and a Mighty Leap. Topin Freeblade's the pick here. It's a 2/2 for 2 with just double upside. Vigilance plus the Renown. Makes for a pretty powerful 2/2. It's I think it's going to be a bit of a role player. It's not an awesome card. It's not going to win you games, but it's going to get you into a position to start to win the game. The follow-up pack just has a Grasp of the Heromancer. I'm not going to play Guardians of Melodis, so Grasp of the Heromancer it is. Next pack, we've got a Tormented Thoughts and a Bonded Construct as the only cards I could possibly play. Pretty late Scapscrin Drake, but I take the Bonded Construct. Alright, into the real dregs. We've got a Ramroller, a Prismatic Ring, or Prism Ring. I just take the Ramroller. I don't think I'm going to play it. I don't have any other artifacts, so, you know, it was a pick because it was there, and I could have really taken anything else. Into the final dregs, we've got another Sideboard Ascetic, an extraordinarily late Gearcrafter. So I hate that. That's first pickable in a weak pack, and I got it third last pick. That just goes to tell you how open red was at this table. It was the most open I've ever seen a color in any draft, really. Into the last 2 picks, we've got an Aether Grid or Negate. I take the Aether Grid, why not? And then a last pick, Pricklebore, which also seemed really late. So here's the deck build that I ended up with. In the 1-drop slot, I had the Akroan Jailer, which was fine for me, and I think it's because my deck was a bit more of a mid-rangey deck. And so I had turns where I was totally happy to just spend 3 mana to tap something down that I didn't want to deal with. In a faster deck, yeah, I can see the 3 mana being a lot, but in a mid-range deck, I think it's fine. In the 2-drop slot, I've got the Shambling Ghoul, which is just a fine 2-drop. It comes in tapped, but you're probably not really desperately needing a blocker on turn 2 anyways, so having a 2/3 on turn 3, that's fine. Ready to attack, that is. There's a Topin Freeblade, which, as I said in the draft portion, is just a role player. A 2/2 with double upside, Vigilance plus Renown 1, is just really, really, really good. Not going to win you games, but boy, do you want one of these or 2 of these. Cleric of the Forward Order, 2/2 for 2, gets me 2 life. Big whoop, needs to be there just to be a 2-drop. Consul's Lieutenant, really, really good. Much, much, much better in the full-on aggressive deck, but still good even in a mid-rangey deck. Down the spell slot, we've got the Enshrouding Mist, which I finally took and finally played, and yeah, it's good. It leads to a pretty big blowout a lot of the time. It's just so versatile. Really like Enshrouding Mist. It's certainly no feat of resistance, but it's still pretty darn good. In the 2-drop spell slot, I've got Celestial Flare and Reeve Soul for removal. Celestial Flare, quite good. Usually you get what you need to kill, especially if your opponent's only got the one creature attacking or blocking. Reeve Soul, also really, really good. It's just flat out better than Defeat, and Defeat was fine. And I got the Grasp of the Hieromancer as my first enchantment in this black-white enchantment deck, and I think it's pretty okay. Again, a little bit better in the full-on aggro deck, but totally fine. Over in the 3-drop spell slot, we've got nothing. No 3-drop spells. 3-drop creature slot, we've got the Blood-Cursed Knight, which was very often on, usually on the back of Suppression Bonds, but sometimes just on the back of Grasp of the Hieromancer. And a 4/3 lifelink for 3 is really, really, really good. I like Blood-Cursed Knight. Even as a 3/2 for 3, it's okay. Eyeblight Assassin, just an okay creature. Sometimes it kills something, sometimes it doesn't. You know. Fleshbag Marauder, previously called Merciless Executioner, previously called Fleshbag Marauder the first time around. Just a really useful card. It's gonna, ideally on turn 3, take out a roadblock of yours, and you can keep getting in for damage in the early game. Or as long as their board is relatively clean, you're gonna get probably a decent creature. I really like Fleshbag Marauder. Auramancer did some work, definitely getting back Weight of the Underworld. Didn't really get back too much else, but Weight of the Underworld coming back was really, really useful. Basically, it's a 3-drop that has kind of removal attached to it in that situation. And we've got an Nantuko Husk, which was fine. I was able to sack creatures if they let the Husk through for lethal and things like that. Over in the 4-drop creature slot, we've got ourselves a War Oracle. A 3/3 lifelink for 4 is good. A 4/4 lifelink for 4 is even better. Just a solid, solid creature. Charging Griffin, it's a flyer. You need flyers sometimes, so that was it. Amperin Tactician, again, kind of a theme in my deck, a card that's much better in heavy, heavy, heavy aggro. A deck that has more creatures than my deck has. But ultimately a 3/3 for 4, it's going to clog up the ground and maybe it can get enchanted with some stuff. 5-drop slot, we had the Totem Guide Heartbeast, which I was down on in the set review. And I think that's because I didn't really think about the fact that Suppression Bonds was common. That card is everywhere. Everybody playing white has one, if not 2 or 3. And being able to tutor it up and have a 2/5 is actually really, really good. I'm pretty happy with Totem Guide Heartbeast. You need to have the Suppression Bonds. You need to have things to hit. But if you do, it's a pretty good card. Down in the spell slots for 4 and 5, we've got Weight of the Underworld and Suppression Bonds as removal. Consecrated by Blood did a lot of good work. Similar to Knightly Valor, +2/+2 and some sort of evasion, and in this case even better evasion than Knightly Valor, is really good. Knightly Valor is worlds away better because you do get the 2/2 Vigilance Knight as well, but Consecrated by Blood is really, really, really good. If your opponent can't handle flyers, you're going to get in for a lot of damage really, really, really fast with it. The second sack 2 creatures ability, whatever. I never even bothered to think of that as being part of the card. +2/+2 and flying is what I think about in this card, and that's really, really, really good stats to add. I don't know if this is a fully playable aura, but it's getting close. Those stats specifically get it close. Then we have Unholy Hunger. Solid, unconditional, instant removal. It's fine. It's totally great. You want those. You want a lot of those. And Sigil of the Empty Throne. I had to play it. I only had 4 enchantments, but I got 2 angels in one game, and this rarely was a dead card. I was usually able to get at least an angel off of it. I don't really know, ultimately, how this deck will shape out in most situations, especially if you're attempting to go off with Sigil of the Empty Throne, because I don't know that I want any more enchantments in this deck. I'm already slightly creature light, and adding more enchantments is just going to be a massive problem. Now, Sigil of the Empty Throne with all of the Theros creatures that are enchantment creatures, that's awesome. That's going to be really fun. I foresee standard decks with that for sure. But in Limited, I think I would stay away from Sigil of the Empty Throne. I gave it a try, and it was okay, but I think I got lucky. So I don't remember the matches terribly well. I do remember match 1 because I had to kill a Gaia's Revenge 2 times before I died to it the 3rd time. The first time I killed it with a Celestial Flare, and then it got Necrotic Summoned back. And so then I had to throw a bunch of creatures in front of it and killed it then. And then it got reclaimed and came back and killed me. Luckily, I got the other 2 games off that match and took that match down. Match 2, I lost. I can't remember who it, or I remember who it was against. It was against the shop owner, Sean. But I lost to that. I can't remember exactly what he was playing, other than also Gaia's Revenge, along with an Outland Colossus. Just couldn't stand up to that. Match 3, I don't actually remember too much about it except that I won it. So I did take down this, not take down, but I went 2-1 in this draft as well, just like the first draft, giving me an overall night record of 4-2 in Magic Origins draft, which isn't too bad. And I did it with 2 archetypes that I wasn't terribly excited about. I did it with Black-Green Elves and then Black-White Enchantments. Black-Green Elves, I can tell you, is significantly more powerful than Black-White Enchantments. I wouldn't recommend this deck. I wouldn't recommend this archetype. I think it's a trap. I gave it a shot and kind of came off okay with it. But I think ultimately it's a trap. I don't want to ever go into this again. I wouldn't recommend that you do. Black and white do have really good removal, which may put you into these colors, but I wouldn't attempt to go into the archetype. Go into the colors, not the archetype. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this paper draft. I've gotten a lot of feedback that you guys are enjoying the real life content along with the MTGO content, so I'll keep doing these for sure. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at the Mana Leek. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. And you can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/themanaleek. You've already found me here on YouTube. You've got the comment section down below. You guys have been using it great lately. I love to see that. Keep using the comment section. Keep interacting with me. Keep interacting with each other. As well, if you like the videos, you should click those little thumbs up icons. That lets me know that you like the videos, the world know that you like the videos, and keeps my videos rising up through the ranks. Finally, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you should. There's a button below each video, there's one in the outro of each video, and that'll keep you up to date on all the latest Crack-a-Pack Tuesdays, Wacky Wednesdays, Spiky Saturdays, and any other videos that pop up here or there like this one. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time.